Blank here, and welcome back to another Doctor Who collection video, in which today I'm going to be beginning a short mini two-parter in this ongoing collection series that I've been doing called Miscellaneous Madness. And in this installment of my collection series called Miscellaneous Madness, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be going through basically everything miscellaneous, as the title would suggest. I'm going to be going through spin-offs, script books, short story compilations, and more. So without further ado, let us begin this video. Spin-off DVDs, I have only two: Invasion of the Bane, which I got years ago and I've just never shown it off in a video before. Torchwood, the complete series 1, and that's all I have in terms of DVDs and whatnot. Don't have any spin-off Fig Binish audios or anything like that. But anyways, on to the books now. I have 3 novelizations from the 12 book line of Sarah Jane Adventure novelizations. I have Revenge of the Slitheen, Eye of the Gorgon, and Warriors of Kulag. And now we're moving on to script books. So we have script book for Tribe of Gum or An Unearthly Child, The Daleks, The Masters of Luxor, The Crusade, Galaxy 4, Power of the Daleks, and The Daemons. I know I've already shown my Daemon script book off of in my 1970s collection, but I for some reason forgot to show off the script books in my 1960s era collection, so I thought I might as well show all my Titan script books in all off in one in this video. Even though I've only shown one of them, even though I've shown one of them already, but might as well show one off again. Fits the theme. And then we have the next script book, which just fell down. We have the Big Finish Audio Scripts Volume 1, which is basically the scripts of Big Finish Audios. This features Lou Guru, The Holy Terror, The Fires of Vulcan, and Neverland in this one. I also have Volume 2 in this range, with Eye of the Scorpion, The One Doctor, Dust Breeding, and Seasons of Fear. I then also have Volume 4 from this range, which contains Omega, Davros, Master, and Zagreus, so basically the villain trilogy, or the villains trilogy. And now we're moving on to short story compilations. We have Doctor Who Time Lord Fairy Tales, 12 Doctors, 12 Stories, Time Shadows, signed by Stephen Hatcher. Now we're moving on to Big Finish short trip books, where you have Companions, Universe of Terror. I'm thinking of actually reviewing some of these short stories from these Big Finish short trips books soon. Should be interesting. Steel Skies, Life Science, Repercussions, 2040, 7 Deadly Sins, A Day in the Life, and then we have a spin-off short story book from Big Finish, Beneath Summerfield, Life During Wartime, and then we have Legends of Ashilda and Legends of a Song, and then Decalogue 2 on the end. Original fiction of spin-off Doctor Who. We have the Torchwood books, Another Life. Recently read this, was intending on reviewing it, and I think I still might publish a little mini review of this, something like my Robots of Death Target review that I did back in January. Reason being for a mini review is just simply because this book hasn't really given me a lot to talk about. It's just probably the blandest Doctor Who book I've ever read, probably the most cookie cutter as well. The Undertaker's Gift, Pack Animals, Sky Point, Almost Perfect, Consequences, which is a short story compilation actually, Border Princess, and Trace Memory. Moving on to class books now, we have Joyride, which I have read, might still be doing a review of this one, I'm not 100% sure. Then we have The Stone House, which I recently reviewed, and believe it or not, this is my 10th favourite Doctor Who book of all time. Probably a controversial choice, but a bit of a guilty pleasure right there. And then we have What She Does Next Will Astound You, and that closes off the spin-off class books. And then we have Lethbridge Stewart, The Forgotten Son, which I would highly recommend if you're a fan of the Boba Fett. And then we have the second Lethbridge Stewart book, The Schizoid Earth. And now we're moving on to Miscellaneous Nonfiction Doctor Who book. We have Whoology, which is an absolutely amazing book. Highly recommend this book. We then have the Doctor Who book of lists. A History of the Universe in 100 Objects. We have two different editions of Mark Campbell's The Episode Guide, which is my favourite non-fiction Doctor Who book, I think. We have the Episode Guide, outdated edition. I don't quite know what year this was published in, I think sometime before Series 3. And then we have the most up-to-date edition, which is this one. Quite tatty, as you can see, as I have been flicking through this thing a lot. I would also like to point out I also have these Doctor Who books: Aliens, Enemies, Creatures and Demons, Monsters and Villains, and Starships and Space Stations. And what these are basically just guides to various Doctor Who things, or whatever Doctor Who thing that there is in their title. Mostly about monsters and villains and stuff like that. They're really interesting. Sorry, just had a flashback from last night. They are books from my childhood. These are books from my childhood. I've just absolutely loved flicking through these books when I was a lot younger, and just yeah, absolutely love these Doctor Who books to pieces. Some of my most nostalgic Doctor Who books, I would say, in particular Monsters and Villains. And I believe these three here, Aliens and Enemies, Creatures and Demons, and Monsters and Villains, were combined in this book here, The Ultimate Monster Guide, which, as I said, is basically a culmination of those Doctor Who books, as you can clearly see here. So yeah, absolutely wonderful Doctor Who books. Yeah, cannot recommend these enough. They're absolutely fantastic. So yeah, there's those next books, which is something similar to what I just showed you, but published by Virgin of all things. Just basically a bit, basically the exact same as those Mark Campbell books I just showed you, but a lot beefier. And then we have the Doctor's Who's Who, the story behind the iconic face of every Time Lord, or every face of the iconic Time Lord rather. And as you can see, I have the paperback and the hardback edition of this book. I then have Doctor Who, the official quiz book, 100 Scariest Monsters, 50 Years the Essential Guide, and then we actually have the first ever W.H. Allen hardback I actually purchased, which is The Time Traveller's Guide by Peter Haining, which is the standard edition of this Doctor Who book. And to end off this part of Miscellaneous Madness, we have Doctor Who, The Vault, which I would highly recommend. So So yeah, absolutely fantastic Doctor Who book, a must read for any Doctor Who fans, I would say, unless you are deluded by the classic series and hate the new series, which is unfortunately the case with some people. Absolutely hate those people, but either ways, absolutely fantastic Doctor Who book. Absolutely fantastic. Would highly recommend this to any Doctor Who fan. It's just absolutely brilliant. It gives you such an in-depth sort of look about how the series' production and whatnot. It's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, there was that, Doctor Who The Vault. And for the autographs in this video, we have Robert Sherman's autograph right there in Life During Wartime, and we also have Stephen Hatcher's autograph in Time Shadows right there. So, this is what Miscellaneous Madness has been building up to. The unboxing of this parcel. This right here is the biggest unboxing in terms of scale I will ever show on my channel. This will and will always be the biggest unboxing on my channel. What books on earth could they possibly be?